falling 1,400 points after dropping more than 1,600 yesterday in the biggest sell-off since 2020. The Nasdaq lost almost 6% on fears new U.S. tariffs will hurt the economy worldwide, but President Trump insists
the markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom.
Saying on Air Force One last night flying to Florida, the tariffs will lead to a surge in U.S. manufacturing.
We have $6 or $7 trillion coming into our country.
And his administration is echoing that line, even as the impacts keep coming. This morning, China announcing retaliatory tariffs of 34% effective April 10th. The president's aides maintain the strategy will work and the fallout will be short, despite recession warnings from some economists.
That's Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. President Trump also says these tariffs give him great negotiating leverage, perhaps even with TikTok.
China will probably say, we'll approve a deal, but will you do something on the tariff?
Well, the president says he's close to working on a deal to get TikTok to cut ties to its Chinese parent company ahead of a deadline to sell by tomorrow, or the social media app could be banned in the U.S. because of concerns about Chinese surveillance of Americans using TikTok and manipulation of content. The president could extend that deadline again. South Korea's impeached president's been formally removed from office by the country's constitutional court, ruling unanimously that the president illegally declared martial law.
Recent months have seen millions of Koreans turn out in public to either support or oppose Yoon Suk-yeol. Yoon says his martial law decree was to bring attention to what he calls the wickedness of the opposition Democratic Party.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. More severe storms could hit today. Texas to Kentucky after days of nasty weather, tornadoes. Tennessee got hit hard. Governor Bill Lee says there's a lot of damage.
Many families displaced, loss of life.
5 people were killed in Tennessee, 2 more deaths in Missouri and Indiana, and there's a threat of widespread flooding Texas to Pennsylvania. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-9383. 800-298-9383.
Another Trump executive order is facing a court challenge. 19 Democratic state attorneys general filed a lawsuit to block the president's new regulations for states to follow in federal elections, including demanding voters have proof of U.S. citizenship. The Democrats argue that's unconstitutional and a Trump overreach into states' authority. Now an update on another legal challenge that has put deportation flights on hold under the Alien Enemies Act, like the controversial ones removing alleged Venezuelan gang members last month.
U.S. District Judge James Boasberg pressed Deputy Assistant Attorney General Drew Ensign on why the government appeared to ignore an emergency injunction halting the deportations of migrants to a prison in El Salvador. During the hearing, the judge asked Ensign if he believed the government was in full compliance with the court's order. Ensign said yes, and to that, the judge said, "It seems to me the government acted in bad faith that day." ACLU attorney Lee Gillard.
The judge was very interested in knowing who exactly was told about his order and what the directions were.
Boasberg said he may issue a decision on whether the administration is in contempt as early as next week. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
We will get an update to the economy later this hour. The March jobs report expected to show a slight slowdown in hiring from February. Economists expect about 140,000 jobs were created last month.
The unemployment rate is forecast to remain at 4.1% for a second month. The report will be closely watched amid ongoing Fed rate policy uncertainty. With inflation still persistent, any signs of unexpected strength or weakness in job growth could influence expectations around the timing of potential interest rate cuts.
That's Fox's Hillary Barsky. Now, the stock market could be affected by this jobs report as futures plunge on tariff concerns. The price of oil also down big, more than 8%. At $61 a barrel, that's a 4-year low. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Governor Pritzker slamming President Trump after he announced his global tariffs. Governor calls tariffs a tax on working families who are grappling with the high cost of food, housing, and utilities. University of Illinois system launching a pilot program aimed at increasing transfer rates from community colleges to four-year universities, and with partnership with Chicago-based nonprofit 1 Million Degrees, the program for low-income community college students. It starts the initiative by serving 240 students from select Illinois community colleges. Village of Tolono awaiting to see the final election results, and one community member could be making history. Village trustee Terrence Stuber could become the first African-American village president in Tolono. He said it'd be an honor to go down in history, but that isn't his goal. Stuber wants to be remembered for creating a welcoming community, building economic success, as well as more. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
And a good Friday morning, ESPN 93.5. Good morning, friends. You made it to the weekend.
Yeah.
It's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
I am Stevie J. Our meteorologist is Greg Solier. And
yes,
it is April 4, meaning we probably have more up and down weather coming our way, which is my educated guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got multiple rain gauges to stick outside, so, you don't have to keep running out there and dumping them out.
That's a good idea. Our meteorologist, Greg Solier, brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you they're always looking to increase their team. If you're interested in healthcare and opportunities for growth, visit carl.org/careers.
All right. How do we look for the weekend, sir?
Wet and soggy and rainy and no field work, etc., so forth and so on. Drier next week around here, and maybe we'll be able to get out in some areas, but probably the need for replanting. Yeah, they're already talking about that, actually, in areas of Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, some of those soybean areas, lower Mississippi Valley locales. There may be a foot of rain that comes down there on top of already saturated grounds from some of those mid-February rains. And we'll get our fair shake around here in a range from probably 2 to 4 inches, a little bit lesser. And as you venture up north towards the Kankakee, higher numbers, 6+ as you get to the I-70 corridor on southward. And so, yeah, the area streams and rivers at or better than Bankful already, and it will get worse here in the coming days. On a brighter note, the Cubs open up today. Wind off the lake, chilly, temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. There may be a little rain shower activity up there at the friendly confines, mid or late innings of the ball game there, if you are so inclined to check it out this afternoon. 39 at Rantoul right now, 43 at Champaign, 42 Danville, 37 Bloomington normal. And we'll get into a couple of scattered showers as the early to mid-afternoon wears on. A late day thunderstorm and an afternoon temperature today up around 55 with a northeast to east wind. The rains pick up tonight. A couple of downpour producing thunderstorms at times tonight, tomorrow night, winding down on Sunday. Again, 2 to 4 inches. Keep an eye on streams and rivers and lowland ag areas. Lows tonight at 45, 50 tomorrow, down to 39 tomorrow night. The sun will come back out here Sunday afternoon. The high about 48. Maybe a rain snow shower. Still sticking with that Monday here with a partly cloudy, cool afternoon at 50. 49 with sunshine on chilly skies for Tuesday. Then we moderate to the 50s Wednesday, 60s Thursday and Friday. A couple of more scattered showers the second half of next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Yeah, it's the weekend. Our tariffs good. Markets crashing worldwide. Oil down to $61 a barrel.
There you go.
That should be $2 and something gas, shouldn't it? I paid $3.35 this morning. So
I know.
Seems a little high.
I feel like it's higher.
Yeah. Anyway, $61 a barrel is low.
Well, I'm going to have to watch it. I don't do much in the stock market, but I'm getting a real buy signal.
Yeah. At some point. I don't know.
No, yeah, you're right.
I don't know. Remember it went down to 18,000 when...
That was COVID.
That was before COVID. It was before Trump. It was Trump in 2016. And then my kids put money in Vanguard, and they thought that it's then called the Trump bump. Everything was going up 10, 20% a year, and that's kind of what they thought the market did. So they got in early. My kids put money in early, and it was pretty good. So at some point, there's going to be a real buy here. But, yeah, the question is, are tariffs good? Ronald Reagan spoke on it. And I was a little surprised, but I thought John Decker coming up bottom of the hour to make up for yesterday because he had some press conference or something. So here is where's Ronald Reagan? I can't remember where I put him. There he is. Ronald Reagan, 1987.
For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery. You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars.
China.
The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity.
Okay, so what do you think?
Well, what I think is he's 100% right from the standpoint of what happened then. But what we're talking about is the tariffs that are slapped on our goods across the world with this, quote, free trade are hurting us. We're losing jobs. It's all going overseas.
Right.
So we're not, quote, slapping tariffs to protect the workers as much as reciprocal tariffs. Why are you charging 30% when we're trying to sell a car over there? You can't compete with this? Well, no, we can't. Okay, well, we're going to do 30%.
So this is a different time.
This is
different
a reciprocal
situation.
tariff.
Right.
And what's already happening is this. If you do that, we won't be able to do this.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we'll double our tariffs on your stuff. Okay, we're doubling ours. Okay, wait a minute. Let's just not have tariffs.
Well,
that's the goal.
China bumped us up 34% this morning, so I would presume we're at 52, counting all the fentanyl penalties and everything else with China. So we must be going to 80-something now if we're going to go kind of side by side with what they do.
Well, and it's so many different products, and right now we are kind of a global economy, so it's a real mess.
Yeah.
And I think it's an incentive to make a better deal, and I think that's what'll happen. But it could be a rough 6 months.
Eric Trump said to all the leaders of the world, "Call my father." He said, "I've seen this run over and over my whole life, and the ones that call early will get a good deal. The ones that call late won't." So, and then, of course, we're dependent now as a global economy. We're dependent on a lot of our drone parts come from China.
Well, so that's another thing. We really aren't dependent as in we can do things that we need to get done without anybody's help. And you say, oh, no, wait, John. No, actually, the United States of America can make it. Be a rough road to hoe. Don't want to do that. We want to help people, bring other people up to what we've got. But when we get just absolutely taken to the cleaners, which we have been in a lot of cases, when does that stop? To when we're actually struggling? Why? We have all the resources, all the energy, all the innovation. And how could we possibly be struggling?
China has innovation. They stole ours.
Well,
China.
That's so fine. But the point is we can make everything that they're making. It'll cost more money, but we can pay more money, and it'll all come out. But we'll become closed, which we really don't want to do.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to make an adjustment.
Well, he has said
it's called a transition back to a little more of a fair deal.
Will we have time? Will he have time? Will we get to the midterms and people look up and say the markets are awful, I'm voting for a Democrat, then there's impeachment hearings, and then it's over?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think you just we've got to this point where however you think you like it or however we're doing, we got to this point and we were always worried about, I can't do that. I know we should, but I'll get thrown out. Well, Trump's not worried about that.
He's not worried about
that. He's going to try to fix it, and maybe his theories are correct.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If you would like to text in on the Fisher National Bank text line, that's Brother Johnny, who's jumped in this morning. John Dicker coming up at the bottom of the hour because we missed yesterday. ESPN 93.5, 217-359-2255. The Fisher, National Bank text line. Now sports, Diane.
Well, all our favorite local teams were off yesterday, gearing up for day games today, starting off with the Chicago White Sox in Detroit with the 12:10 start. The Cubs will host San Diego with the 1:20 start. You'll hear that over on US 105.9. And our Cardinals are in Boston, and here's your Redbird Recap.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
The Cardinals are off to a good 4-2 start after sweeping the Twins and losing 2 of 3 to the Angels, but winning the series finale at Busch Stadium on Wednesday afternoon. After an off day yesterday, they are set to play their first road game of the year today. They are in Boston to open up a series against the Red Sox. On the mound this afternoon for the Cardinals, it'll be Eric Fetty, 1-0, 1.50 ERA, as he was pretty good in his first start. This will be his third appearance against the Red Sox and the first since 2021. His numbers aren't great. A 16.20 ERA in just an inning and 2/3 against the Red Sox. Walker Buehler will make the start for the Red Sox. He's 0-1 with an 8.31 ERA as he struggled in his first start. First appearance against the Cardinals since 2021. Overall 2-0 with a 2.88 ERA in 4 appearances against the Cardinals in his career. 1:10 first pitch this afternoon. Our coverage begins at 12:15. For the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Matt Pauley.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
Tampa is the place for the women's Final Four tonight, with Texas taking on South Carolina for the 6 o'clock game around 8:30. Number 2 UConn facing UCLA. All of the teams except number 2 UConn are number 1 seeds. So pretty much chalk on that tournament. But we also have the Final Four for the guys, which is tomorrow on CBS. 5 o'clock, it's Florida and Auburn. And Houston and Duke will go at it for around 8 o'clock in San Antonio's Alamo Dome. We had Chattanooga over UC Irvine in overtime, 85-84 for the NIT championship. As far as Illinois baseball, that's been bumped up from 6 o'clock due to the rain expected later today to 1 o'clock as we host Maryland. And softball is up in Evanston to face Northwestern with a 2 o'clock pitch tomorrow. And that's pretty much it as far as the headlines. Well, we had Milwaukee over Philadelphia in NBA action. Utah's in Indianapolis to face the Pacers. And Portland's in Chicago to face the Bulls this evening.
All righty, so we'll check some weather. We'll get this market update, Fox Business Minute, to let us know what the futures hold. Doesn't good. Worldwide markets again went down. And but Donald Trump says with all these tariffs, we got $6 trillion coming. Revenue.
Well, and so that's another point to be made. I mean, we can't keep the manufacturing here when countries across the globe keep slapping tariffs on our product. So we spend the money paying people to live who can't work because they can't find a job. So now we're going to take that money, but we're going to have to make our own stuff so there's something for them to do. We don't have to pay them to sit around.
That's Brother Johnny. Here's weather.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and vicinity heads up on the flood watch in area streams and rivers as well. Already a flood warning stature, especially around the Wabash in areas to the south and east, and though it will become more of a phenomenon here with 2 to 4 inches of rain expected over the next several days. Ponding and flooding is expected. Scattered showers break out this afternoon. Late day thunderstorm chance 55 on an increasing northeast to east wind. Then for tonight, tomorrow night winding down early on Sunday. Periods of rain showers and thunderstorms. Heavy downpours at times. Down to 45 for tonight. 50 the high tomorrow on a gusty north wind. 39 tomorrow night and a high of 48 with a partly sunny Sunday afternoon. Monday, maybe a snow rain shower mix in the morning. The high near 50 with a partly cloudy afternoon. Into the upper 40s Tuesday. Frost and freeze there in the morning then. Milder weather sets up with upper 50s next Wednesday. 60s next Thursday and Friday. Drier but not completely dry. A couple of scattered showers over the second half of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. Busey Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868, Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are slumping, pointing to more significant losses on Wall Street today after China retaliated against President Trump's tariffs with 34% on all imported goods from the U.S. to take effect Thursday. The Wall Street Journal says the tariffs announced this week were deeper and more aggressive than the business world expected. J.P. Morgan economists are now warning they see a 60% chance of a global recession. Crude oil prices are sliding to the $65 a barrel range. Investors are moving money into U.S. Treasuries. 10-year yields slipped below the 4% mark today. Wall Street will also be reacting today to the monthly employment report, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell delivers comments today. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
It's the Will Kane Podcast.
I watched the entire Doge interview with Brett Baer. My takeaway is, for all the people out there burning Teslas and painting penises on the door, I think you're living in an alternate reality where you believe these guys are all a bunch of computer hacker nerd kids who've been hired by Elon to execute his wishes. These are impressive people, accomplished people who are coming in going, this is crazy the way all this is run.
Get the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcast.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's BERG tanksinc.com. Yeah, I told you I went down into one of those tanks, and they can put that in your yard. And, you know, they in Indiana, I know they help pay for those at trailer parks. Because you don't have any place to go in a trailer.
Yeah, that's right.
And they just dig a hole, and they put that fiberglass thing in the ground, and you got a place.
All right.
It's a really good one. Berg Tanks, you can look it up. All
Or a
right.
storm shelter.
Yep, storm shelter. Berg Tanks Storm Shelter, 723. John Decker here coming up in just a few moments. So if everybody's freaking out about the stock market, when does the sky stop falling? When you get in that position, it's like, well, where's the low? We're never really going to know the low.
You don't ever really quite know.
But if you still have belief in the country, and sometimes it gets so bad, it's like sky's falling. This is it. It's over. Kind of a feeling.
Well, and then so one thing that can happen is somebody like China can say, look, we want to talk about it. We want to lift some of these tariffs. Boom. Everybody, hey, we got a chance.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of that's hope and optimism. And I don't know how it got to the 44,000 in the first place, because what is that times earnings? It's something like 25 times earnings in terms of
44,000 is high for the Dow Jones.
And
we really haven't had a correction since 2015, 2016.
But if you talk about a trade war, we're in a trade war. It's competition, but we're getting slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
The imbalance is you go country to country to country in terms of trade deficit, meaning we're giving a lot more to them than they're giving to us.
Our allies are creaming.
And the reason we, quote, can't compete, well, we pay our people too much. No, we don't. We figure out how to make it cheaper anyway. They won't let us sell in there. They're doubling our price with a tariff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the root cause of it is we're retaliating Not China saying they're retaliating. No, we're retaliating. They've had tariffs on our goods, and it's caused a huge trade imbalance, and it's hurting our workers.
Well, how did this happen? I mean, we've only had one other Republican this century. That's George W. Bush. Otherwise, it's all been Democratic. I think more Democratic. Has it been more Democratic? Obama had most got a 12-12 now after into the first 24.
Most Republicans don't want tariffs. In theory, it's not a good thing. But when everybody's doing it to you, you got to rethink your theory.
That's right.
It's great. It's called a free market. That's what we want, a free market. In other words, if you can do it better than me, you win. I'm buying your product. When a government comes in and says, yeah, yours is double. What did you do? Well, we don't want to buy yours. We want to make our own. It's not as good. Well, they can buy it if they want to spend the double.
Yeah.
And that's
so during the Depression, there were no tariffs implied.
Well, it wasn't like we didn't have what we call a global economy.
Yeah, that's a big change. Yeah,
we did that just to keep our businesses going.
I see. So we needed money.
That was an artificial, and it was hurting the other countries that could have kept competition within America. Because if we don't make a better car, Japan's going to make them, which is exactly what happened, by the way. And so we had to get our act together. Our cars weren't very good. We kind of hit a slump where we weren't the best cars.
Will we still be competitive? Will we still get after it globally if the government's kind of got our back?
Well, the risk is that this works, and we keep the global economy going at a little bit fairer, equal playing field. I think Reagan is correct. If you don't have enough competition, it has to be internal competition. And what bothers me about us not having global pressure is we have these huge monopolies in this country. I call them monopolies, like Amazon and Microsoft and Google. And we won't have that antitrust where you give these other smaller companies time to grow before Google buys them. And whether or not they do what they did that was so popular, they may shelve it. They just don't want the competition.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing you have to worry about you have to have competition. You just have to.
Yep, I agree. Okay, it's Brother Johnny again, 217-359-2255. You can always text us with your thoughts. We're going to break. We'll come back to John Decker, Gray Television's White House correspondent. He's been exceptionally busy these days with trying to cover all of this. And as far as the tariffs, the stock market, I guess it's kind of a wait and see. But I believe the clock is running, and people will endure for a while. But sometimes you can't control the timing of everything.
Well, I think there's always the political angle. Let's say we're playing a college basketball game. We haven't even got to the 4-minute timeout.
Yeah.
So there's over 16 minutes in the first half.
Right.
So let's just...
and they're already, every country has called the White House. I mean, so they don't want this either, because of the political problems they'll have in their country if things go north.
Well, so Trump's getting a lot of heat for putting on tariffs. When they raise them against us, they're getting the same heat.
Yeah.
And they don't have the resources we have.
Yeah.
We are that's what Trump's doing. He's playing from a position of strength and taking advantage of it instead of saying, well, we're not going to, we're so much better than you. Okay, we don't mind. Here, take the extra money.
Yeah.
Well, we've done that long enough, and now it's like, we're $36 trillion in debt. We actually don't have the money.
No, we don't have the money.
Why
are we giving Canada $200 billion? I don't quite get that. Just to help them?
I guess so.
Well, we don't have the money to help them right now.
Well, I agree. Well, that's what we're working on here.
Right. I mean, all over the world, I feel like
we
that's
help
okay.
a lot of people. And there's nothing wrong with that if we're flush. I don't care if we're flush.
Well, and if it's helping them.
Yeah.
As we've seen,
it goes to the
there's
right
a lot
people.
of that being wasted and maybe even hurting the countries because of who gets it.
Right,
actually.
exactly.
And so we have to tighten it up. That's what we're really trying to do.
All right, we'll be back. John Decker next.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnace is run safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. China hitting back at President Trump, saying it will match the president's plan for 34% tariffs on Chinese goods with its own 34% tariff on U.S. imports, as the markets were sent tumbling yesterday in the worst sell-off since the pandemic.
The president's aides maintain the strategy will work and the fallout will be short, despite recession warnings from some economists.
And that's Fox's Jackie Heinrich. Parts of the Midwest and South facing the possibility of torrential rain and life-threatening flash floods.
Another day of dangerous and potentially life-threatening weather for folks that live across the central U.S., the Mid-South, Ohio, Mississippi, and Tennessee River valleys, with strong to severe storms containing large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes, while catastrophic flooding is also a concern over the same areas.
That's Fox senior meteorologist Janice Dean. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. The governor's trade mission to Mexico complete. It aimed to strengthen Illinois' long-standing partnership with Mexico. The governor and part of the state's delegation had conversations with over 100 representatives from more than 50 major Mexican companies. As a reminder, Champaign Police want to remind people of safe driving habits. They're not alone in their efforts either, as more than 200 local law enforcement agencies partnering with the Illinois Department of Transportation and Illinois State Police to combat distracted driving during Distracted Driving Awareness Month. New tariffs from the federal government could make people's purchases at the car dealership more expensive, and one Champaign County worker weighing in. Wednesday, President Trump announcing 25% tariffs on cars and auto parts imported to the U.S., calling Wednesday Liberation Day. One dealership manager in Savoy says he doesn't think it will impact them right away because they have a steady back order of cars that are set to come in. And that's what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Our weather brought to you by Kramer's Siding and Window.
A proud member of Prairie Home Alliance. Take gutter cleaning off your to-do list with Gutter Helmet. Your gutters will never clog and you won't fall off a ladder. KramerSiding.com.
Well, we get everyone. Let's check weather. Free Central Illinois, Champaign and vicinity active and moisture laden over the next couple of 2 or 3 days as expected. Mainly cloudy for the day today. Some scattered shower activity breaking out this afternoon. Increasing northeast to east wind, a cool high 55. Could be a thunderstorm in spots here late this afternoon and evening time. Then for tonight, tomorrow, and in through tomorrow night, winding out early Sunday, periods of rain showers and thunderstorms. Heavy rainfall at times leading to a flood watch. Keep an eye on area streams and rivers. Rainfall totals across the immediate area 2 to 4 inches. Higher numbers south and southeast of Champaign County, lesser north and northwest. 45 the low tonight. Highs tomorrow at 50 on a north wind, 15 to 25 and gusty. 39 tomorrow night and a high of 48 with a partly sunny, drier Sunday. Monday, a little snow rain mix in the morning at 50 in the afternoon and a partly cloudy sky. 49, that's it with sunshine Tuesday. Back to the 50s on Wednesday, 60s next Thursday and Friday. A drier weather pattern next week. Couple of showers mid to late next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on KramerSiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
Hi, Ellen Hook here, owner of your local Ashley.
This weekend only, we pay your sales tax. That's right, it's tax season, so give yourself a break at Ashley. All sofas, leather sectionals, in-stock patio, name brand mattresses, including Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, Beautyrest, Simmons, Purple, and Nectar, are all on sale. At Ashley, get the styles you love, and we'll pay your sales tax. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Located at 602 West Anthony Drive, Champaign. Only at your local Ashley.
All right, Tim, Gale Ferrex Trucking, looking for drivers at all?
Yeah, we're going to do a little push here. And until we get the trucks full, I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. We're going to go ahead and reinstitute our $4,000 sign-on bonus for the month of April. So I can guarantee the first two guys that come in are going to get that. Now, after that, that will fill up the trucks, and I don't know what we'll have to reevaluate then, but we'll carry that through either till the end of April or till the trucks are filled up.
To the person listening, Tim, what do they do to get this $4,000 signing bonus in case they'd like to act on that?
They can email me at timo@gftlog.com. They can call my office at 765-793-7131. They can drop by Dedicated Diesel in Urbana at 1313 Triumph Drive and see Mandy, and she can get them the paperwork and get them in touch with me.
Fighting Illini fans, your Illinois football team is coming off a 10-win season as Citrus Bowl champs. This fall, Illinois returns 18 starters from the Citrus Bowl victory, including star quarterback Luke Altmaier for a third straight season. Led by head coach Brett Bielema, the Fighting Illini are listed on nearly every major top 25 ranking for the 2025 season. Stay up to date on all things Fighting Illini football at fightingillini.com. We can't wait to see you back in Memorial Stadium this fall.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on Thursdays we talked to John Decker, Great Television's White House correspondent. He, of course, was busy. Shock. So we got him today. John Decker. John Decker. John Decker. I want to talk to John Decker. He is the one we know. I want to talk to John Decker. He's at the White House in press room.
John Decker. John
Yes,
Decker.
Children and Combines now singing the theme. Ladies and gentlemen, Great Television's White House correspondent. It is John Decker. Not busy, are you?
Busy week, Stevie, as you know, in the Rose Garden for the president's announcement regarding his tariffs plan earlier this week, and that has really dominated the news this week. You remember last week? It seems like ages ago we were talking about that group chat on Signal.
What chat?
What
was that? I can't remember the story. I don't even remember the story.
Right?
No, so this is obviously a calculated risk. Could work, could be great, could be kind of hard in the short term. But if you're getting pounded by even your allies, your friends are tariffing your brains out, and you just say, I'll just match you. I love the concept. I don't think people like the market pain right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at, your 401k and how it's performing, you're not happy right now, and it does take a lot of patience, and that's what the administration is counting on. But the question is, does the president's plan that he envisions, will it come into being? And that is a return in great numbers of manufacturing coming back to the United States. That takes time. You can't flip a switch and turn on a factory. It takes sometimes years to stand a factory up. And we'll see whether or not the public is as patient as the president is as it relates to what he sees as the long-term goal for the United States.
Yeah, Johnny's also here, and we've been talking nonstop about this for 45 minutes about the whole thing.
No, it's quite a deal, and of course he's reciprocating tariffs. So one of the hopes is we'll just get a better deal with some of our trading partners.
The President Johnny yesterday spoke about that for the first time. He had not spoken about this idea of negotiating on these tariffs, but yesterday when he was flying down to Florida on Air Force One, he said, he's open to discussions, open to deals with certain countries. And, I got that list in the Rose Garden, all the countries impacted by these tariffs, retaliatory tariffs or reciprocal tariffs, auto tariffs, a lot of tariffs. It's every one of our trading partners. We'll see, whether or not these numbers that the president has put out hold, or whether we see them come down from the levels where they are right now?
Well, the basis was we've lost the manufacturing jobs because free trade, we weren't able to compete. But it turns out a lot of our inability to compete is we're getting tariffs slapped on all of our products by all of our trading partners. We can't sell our products. So our manufacturing job goes. So he says, okay, we're going to go equal playing field. All those jobs will come back, or we're going to get an opportunity to sell our products in. So, I mean, it's...
Well, there's that. No, you're right. I mean, there's certainly that. But as you know, and labor costs are significantly lower than what we pay labor here. Whether you're talking about an auto plant that's free labor, non-union related, or whether you're talking about a UAW plant, significant costs as it relates to labor, here versus overseas with what is being paid to the workers in some of these Asian countries in particular.
Yeah, and I think that's where the negotiation comes in. Okay, we'll acknowledge that, but we're smart enough to make it still competitive with many of our products if they'll take the tariffs off of them. Even though we pay our people more, we figure out ways to make it cheaper. So that's global economy. That's what you have to do. That's called competition. And when there's too many imbalanced deals with too many countries, including our allies, and we're just getting smoked. It's been kind of a trade war, John, and we're getting smoked. So Trump's saying, okay, you want to play hardball, here you go.
Yeah.
And I think it's a political risk, John. I don't know if you can take a bigger political risk.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, the president could have come in and, done some of the other things that he's already done, the border, and it's been very successful as it relates to border security. Deregulation, certainly you can come in, and we've seen a lot of that already. And then focused on tax cuts, and the Wall Street, I think the markets would have reacted very positively to all of that. But now the president, at the beginning, meaning in the first 100 days, also announcing his tariffs plan, and that's where you see this market reaction play itself out.
All right, so what about this lawsuit? I don't know if you heard about it yet, that Chuck Schumer's suing the latest executive order, which is allowing illegals to vote. Have you heard about that? And I don't get it.
I haven't heard about that. No, that's news to me.
Okay.
We'll see where that goes. It's just news to me. I really can't comment on something that I'm familiar with.
Always trying once a year to break something to you. So there you go.
You do it. You're successful.
Anyway, so what day does John Decker get off? You have to take a day off, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Saturday, Sunday. Looking forward to Saturday, tomorrow, and Sunday. Watching these great Final Four semifinal games tomorrow. Looking forward to these number one seeds competing. And tonight I'm going to go watch Alexander Ovechkin, see if he can break the record, Gretzky's record. He's 3 goals away from breaking the record, and they play the Chicago Blackhawks tonight here in Washington.
All right,
looking forward to that.
John is quite the sportsman. You're the only guy in the press room that is a lawyer, and the only guy in the press room that has a clue about the Final Four. So
yeah, that's true.
I got to tell you too, and the listeners can text a question that could be asked to the president of the United States.
That's exactly
if
right.
and only if John Decker likes the question.
Right, exactly. But that's
true.
Usually he's loaded. He's loaded with stuff.
Let me tell you, I'm always open. I speak to so many people, and if I hear a great idea, and by the way, I let the people know. It's not like I steal the idea. I let the people know your question that you presented to me. I asked that very question that you presented to me in the Oval Office, and now you can have bragging rights that you got a question to the president.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that reminds
me. Pretty cool.
We had a former Muhammad Seymour football coach, Frank Dutton, used to write jokes for Jay Leno, and then he'd watch that night to see if his joke made it on.
Yeah,
so there you go. If you have a question, I haven't thought of that, John. It's a great idea.
Well, I'll tell you, John. You talk about bragging rights. We've been bragging about talking to John Decker.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, it's
too good.
Remarkable. We of course. I was the only guy in the world, by the way, to make a theme. And you were in a radio cubby at Fox. I knew you went.
Right.
I knew you went.
Yeah, that's right.
That's in any event, John Decker has a very busy calendar and schedule, but you can shut it off and you can stop thinking about this, or it's a 24/7.
I do, absolutely. You have to be able to do that. Otherwise, I think you'd age very quickly, and so that's one of the things that I've been able to do. I think is just to enjoy life. You know, when I had that booth that you just described at the White House, and that conveys with the news organization. So when I worked at Fox News Radio, I worked in that booth, and Jared Halpern is the Fox News Radio correspondent for Fox right now. But when I had that booth, I kept the TV in that booth all day long on ESPN, just because I need to focus on things other than what I'm focused on 24/7. So that was always a great break for me.
Okay, so before we let you go, and I know you're on a tight schedule today, what's your take on the cabinet, Trump's cabinet overall?
Well, look, I think the president, just like in the first term, has some very high-quality people that are serving him in the cabinet. And, you know, the difference between the first term, and I've actually asked this question to the president, which do you prefer, your first-term cabinet or your second-term cabinet? And, you know, he speaks highly of his first term, but he really likes this cabinet in particular. He feels they're exceedingly, and he's probably right about this, exceedingly loyal to him and to his policies. And I don't think we see as many leaks that we see in this term that we saw in the first term for President Trump. And it's just the first 100 days. And as you know, coming out of the box, so much news happening in terms of the president signing a slew of executive orders, and that continues happening every week. So more executive orders signed this week, and I would expect that will be the same next week as well.
I have a sense that if I were running for president, I might try and hire away Susie Wiles. I think she's helping the focus of everything. Do you think that's true?
I do think that's true. I do think that it's more disciplined, with one exception. Here's the one exception that I was surprised by, because Susie Wiles is well respected for all the reasons that you mentioned.
Chief of staff. She's the chief of staff for president.
She's the chief of staff. And the one exception I would mention is, maybe you reported on this story, Laura Loomer. You know this name? Did you report on her? She's someone who the president speaks to. Well, he met with her this past week, and she suggested that the president fire some national security aides, and the president indeed did just that. And what we saw in the first term is that anybody could get in practically to see the president in the Oval Office. They could walk right in, staffers, and there's more discipline that exists right now that Susie Wiles has applied. So it's just surprised that Laura Loomer got a meeting with the president, and a meeting in which he seemed to follow some of the recommendations that she made to him.
Yeah, I think Susie Wiles conditioned to take the chief of staff jobs. Pat Summerall's daughter, Susie Wiles,
that's right.
Really powerful and
there's
good.
An ESPN reference.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so she was the gatekeeper, and she said, "I'm not doing it unless I'm the gatekeeper." I'm surprised she allowed the meeting.
Yeah, that's so. Look, you know, I don't know. You know, you could make. I've heard this. You know, I know you like conspiracy theories, Stevie.
Oh, yeah.
Let me throw you one conspiracy theory, and that is, it would take someone like a Laura Loomer to convince the president to fire, and I don't know if he's going to listen to her, but to fire Mike Waltz, the national security advisor. So maybe that's the reason why she came to the White House this past week, is focused on him in particular. We'll have to wait and see.
Right.
I saw Mike Waltz flying on Marine One just yesterday with President Trump, so I think that's an indication that he still has a job, and he still has the loyalty of President Trump.
Well, I think, too, it's not just the cabinet, back to the cabinet, is loyal to Trump. They're just a lot like Trump. And now I think that's one reason the leftists just panic, because they got these, an army of Trumps now that he's got running all these deals. It's like, we're doomed, but I don't think we're doomed.
What you wanted, last question was the comment. What you want to do is in front of, Jasmine Crockett and AOC say, man, what do you think Trump's third term is going to be like? And just let him go.
Their heads will explode. I can't do that. I'm too kind a person. I don't want to see people hurt themselves.
But boy, they take everything he says absolutely literal. They just go crazy.
They do.
Hey, listen, thank you for the time. We'll look forward to perhaps next Thursday, depending on your schedule.
Yes,
but always appreciate it.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks a lot,
enjoy
Stevie.
the games.
All right. Yeah, enjoy the ball game.
Johnny. Thanks, Diane.
All right,
Take care.
Soon. John Decker, Great Television's White House correspondent, national correspondent, in the press room. That's a great idea, though, John. I never thought of that. If you ever have a question you want to ask the White House, and maybe even the president, because he's with the president.
No, right to the president.
In the Oval Office, he sends pictures all the time. He's 8 feet.
He asks the question, and he
to the president
looks
right.
up at him and then answers the question.
When Trump was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2017 or 18 or whenever that was, it was John Decker who broke the score and got one-on-one at the White House with Donald Trump.
That's great. Yeah.
So if you do ever have one, that's kind of cool. That's a direct connection. That's first generation stuff. So second generation stuff.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good question. He just might use it, and you might hear it. All right, it is 7:50, 10 before 8 o'clock on this Friday morning. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated.
April 4th, 1968, the Lorraine Motel in Memphis. In fact, I visited there inside the last few months, and that's the Civil Rights Museum now. Boy, is that a moving experience to walk through there.
Why would people be against the information released on Martin Luther King Jr.? He apparently, there's been rumors of his infidelity, perhaps. I don't know.
No, I think because there's so much questioning about other assassinations. It was Bobby Kennedy, John Kennedy. It was Martin Luther King, even Malcolm X. And then you had Wallace. And there were similar things going on. It's all the conspiracy stuff.
I see.
But and there is questions about James Earl Ray shooting Martin Luther King.
Right.
And when they don't release the information, what do you think?
Yeah.
There must be something more to it.
But was Martin Luther King, John Kennedy was very, had a sex drive. I don't know if anything about that, because that could have been planted.
That had nothing to do with the assassination.
But it would have something to do with not wanting that out.
No, I don't think so. Not today. They don't care.
J. Edgar Hoover would have maybe planted that kind of information anyway, right?
Right. It could be explained. We don't know all the details, but it can be explained by they don't want to know that their story isn't quite.
I see. Okay.
What happened?
Open a can of worms. And
it makes the government look like they covered up something that we should have been able to know. So that, and again, there's no real downside there anymore, because our trust in government is pretty low yet.
Yeah, that's
pretty
right.
Low, pretty little.
Well, that MLK March for Peace is being organized by the Urbana Park District at 5:30 today, and you can watch urbanaparks.org for details on that, and they can bring on Greg Sollier's forecast if you're interested in hitting that.
Yeah, we'll watch the rain for you, but one of the great quotes of any speech ever was, "I have a dream that someday my 4 young children will not be judged, Johnny, by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." How do you explain DEI then? That should all be content of character, not color of skin.
Well, Martin Luther King would not be go along with that.
That's right.
And he was a great guy, Martin Luther King, and he wasn't really a Democrat. Both sides claim him.
Yeah.
But he was more of a independent that just wanted equity between the races, which at that time there was not.
No, it was terrible.
That's right.
Weather brought to you by Greg Sawyer. Brought to you by Greg with Greg Sawyer. Brought to you by Busey for over 155 years. Busey, member FDIC.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and vicinity heads up on the flood watch in area streams and rivers as well. Already at flood warning stature, especially around the Wabash and areas to the south and east. And though it will become more of a phenomenon here with 2 to 4 inches of rain expected over the next several days. Ponding and flooding is expected. Scattered showers break out this afternoon. Late day thunderstorm chance 55 on an increasing northeast to east wind. Then for tonight, tomorrow night winding down early on Sunday. Periods of rain showers and thunderstorms. Heavy downpours at times, down to 45 for tonight, 50 the high tomorrow on a gusty north wind, 39 tomorrow night, and a high of 48 with a partly sunny Sunday afternoon. Monday, maybe a snow rain shower mix in the morning, the high near 50 with a partly cloudy afternoon, into the upper 40s Tuesday, frost and freeze there in the morning. Then milder weather sets up with upper 50s next Wednesday, 60s next Thursday and Friday, drier but not completely dry, a couple of scattered showers over the second half of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. There's no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help you improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Next week on an all-new Law and Order. Order! We convene here for case 217, Spring Green versus Weeds. Spring Green, the floor is yours. The weeds are infectious. The weeds steal the beauty from your lawn. We offer personalized lawn care, a mid-season checkup, and a simple and transparent process. Just click onto spring-green.com for a quote. Okay, Spring Green wins. Weeds, you're out. That's spring-green.com.
Jets Pizza is offering a special deal when you spend $25. Just use promo code 5ADD. That's the number 5ADD and specify Jets bread or cinnamon sticks for only $5. Combine that with their current $5 off pizza promos and you can cheer on the Illini while enjoying hot pizza with your favorite Jets bread or cinnamon sticks. What a deal. You spend $25, enter 5ADD for Jets bread or cinnamon sticks for just $5. Jets, better because it has to be.
You know that Donald Trump is a good golfer. They're going to cover the LIV Live Golf Tour, which I thought they're going to merge with the PGA. And they're going to, Trump's a good golfer.
But that's from July 23rd.
But he is a good, Brett Baer has been on the show a number of times. He said, hey, he's pretty good. He really is. He can hit it down the alley, and he's 78.
Brett's had some really great interviews here in the last few months.
He's getting all the stuff. Yeah. No question about that. By the way, I never understood what happened to Donald Trump Jr.'s family. Because I never, what a beautiful wife and 5 kids or whatever, and he went.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, guess who's dating Donald Trump Jr.'s wife?
Who?
Tiger Woods.
Okay.
And she's just a beautiful couple, but he came out on X and announced that, it's Vanessa, I think. She's a beautiful woman. So I was, what are you doing, man? You have 5 kids. Anyway, then he was hanging with Kimberly Guilfoyle. I've had her on the air before here, but they made her UN somebody, not UN, but ambassador to some country, so she's out of the pocket.
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times. Good guy. I mean, he seems fine. But
yeah, it's sad when that happens. But anyway, Tiger Woods. I mean, that's a kind of a big couple there now. Mm-hmm. The news will be coming up. We've got a thoracic surgeon coming up.
Yes, we do, from OSF Healthcare.
They're going to come in and talk to us a little bit about, they do esophagus kind of surgery and heart surgery, lung surgery.
Well, and I've got
surgery.
Things piled up that have to get done, Steve, and I might not be. You have to give me a recap on that.
Okay.
So,
we
great being here.
Thanks for jumping in.
And it's this Friday?
Yes, it's Mom's Weekend on campus, and they have the engineering open house, the Beckman Institute open house.
That's great. Man.
I know.
I'll tell you what.
The Quilt Festival and the Boneyard Arts Festival.
Lots happening. The engineering open house is.
Might be particularly might circle that because it's not much outside. So the rain's got me worried, Diane.
I know.
It's going to hit, and it looks like a real kind of solid little mass.
University of Illinois engineering is crazy good. I mean, we're top 5 in the world, right, overall? And isn't civil engineering number 1?
It has been. It comes and goes.
1 and 2. MIT, Berkeley, some of those others.
Yeah, that's where we're
Champaign-Urbana, I'm telling you. We as much stuff politically from administration. The ground base of, I think, our engineering school particularly has been outstanding for a long time.
Not sure if the weather's going to hold at the Bardeen Quad for the Tesla Coil concert tonight,
that's
but
I
love
event,
that. That's right.
Yeah.
I've seen that before, and it's amazing.
One thing. The weather's always got to be considered.
We will track the opening of the markets this morning at 8:30 as well, just to see what kind of impact that's going to have on stuff. But keep in mind, your 401 means nothing unless you sell it. I mean, it's just. I just suggest don't look.
Ride the storm.
What's the point of even looking? If you're not going to sell it, you haven't lost anything.
No, it's concerning. Because that's your savings, and in a lot of cases, that's
But
what
if you're not going to
rely on.
realize it, say you're 50, why would you look at your 401? You just wouldn't. You're not going to sell it.
Because it's your savings.
Okay, I got it.
You're getting.
But you have if you're down, if it's 190,000 now 160, you haven't lost any 30,000.
No, you're right.
You just don't look.
Stock went up. I said, Bobby, we made about $2,000 today. He said, what'd you sell? I said, well, I didn't sell it. Well, you didn't make anything.
I know.
Exactly right.
That's right.
We'll be back. ESPN 93.5 coming up on 8 o'clock. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
A surge in hiring. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and the report just out this morning showing a lot more hiring than expected last month, nearly double February's number, which was revised lower.
228,000 jobs added in the month of March. Unemployment rate goes up to 4.2%.
Fox Business Network's Lauren Simonetti, but Wall Street not reacting much to that. Instead, the focus remains on new U.S. tariffs on almost all imports and if they could harm the economy worldwide. Dow futures down 1,000 points before the opening bell this hour after plunging more than 1,600 yesterday, the biggest sell-off since COVID hit in 2020. But President Trump says the market will rebound with a U.S. manufacturing boom. Posting on Truth Social minutes ago, this is a great time to get rich, richer than ever before, and his policies will never change. Saying last night on Air Force One,
you see the plans are starting to construction already. We have many plans.
China, though, is readying a retaliation, a 34% charge on all American products.
Exactly the kind of countermeasure that Treasury Secretary Bessent warned against, saying that that would prompt even more escalation from the U.S., from President Trump. But it's not just U.S. adversaries. It's also allies who are trying to weigh their next moves. You had French President Emmanuel Macron calling for suspension of all planned investments in the U.S. by European companies and vowing a united European response.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. President Trump has fired the director of the National Security Agency, Tim Hawk, as well as others in the National Security Council. The lead Democrat on the Senate Intel Committee, Mark Warner, reacted saying, how does this make Americans any safer? More nasty weather forecast today. Texas to Kentucky after days of storms and tornadoes did damage in several states, killing 5 people in Tennessee, 2 more in Indiana and Missouri. And Fox meteorologist Janice Dean also warns of
the heavy rainfall, the once-in-a-generation potential flooding event for some of the same areas.
The threats from Texas to Pennsylvania. America's listening to Fox News.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit VaxAssist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-9383. 800-298-9383.
Opening statements start today in Maryland. In a murder case that's gotten a lot of attention, an illegal immigrant from El Salvador, Victor Martinez Hernandez, is charged with raping and murdering Rachel Moore, and a mother of 5, while she was out jogging in August 2023. He was arrested after a 10-month-long manhunt, in Oklahoma. Another migrant in the U.S. illegally is also accused in another death that's getting a lot of attention. This one is out of South Carolina, and Fox's Evan Brown has more.
A junior at the University of South Carolina is dead following a hit and run near the campus in Columbia, South Carolina. The driver is an illegal migrant, according to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. 21-year-old Nathaniel Baker died from his injuries. Now 24-year-old Rosalie Fernandez Cruz is charged with the crash, with failing to give aid and for driving without a license. But he also had been subject to a deportation order going back to 2018. Local law enforcement had reported Fernandez Cruz's arrest to immigration officials. They're holding him in jail. Evan Brown, Fox News.
In Pennsylvania, there were deaths on railroad tracks involving an Amtrak Acela train.
Police were called to an area Thursday night after getting reports of people on the tracks.
When our officers arrived on scene, they attempted to go up onto the rail line to remove the subjects, but didn't get up to the top of the tracks before the Acela contacted the individuals that were up on the tracks.
Bristol Borough Police Chief Joe Morris. 3 people were killed, all family members. No officers were injured in the crash. Police are still investigating why they were on the tracks. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Again, our top Fox story, a bigger than expected number of jobs in March. The unemployment rate, though, went up to 4.2%. On Wall Street, though, another sell-off looms over tariff concerns. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Village of Tolono waiting to see the final election results, and one community member could be making history. Village trustee Terrence Stuber could become the first African-American village president in Tolono. He said it'd be an honor to go down in history, but that isn't his goal. Stuber wants to be remembered for creating a welcoming community, building economic success, as well as more. Governor Pritzker slamming President Trump after he announced his global tariffs. Governor calls tariffs a tax on working families who are grappling with the high cost of food, housing, and utilities. University of Illinois system launching a pilot program aimed at increasing transfer rates from community colleges to four-year universities, and with partnership with Chicago-based nonprofit 1 Million Degrees, the program for low-income community college students. It starts the initiative by serving 240 students from select Illinois community colleges. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Yeah, okay. We got to talk to meteorologist Greg Solier, who's been studying hard for the last hour, trying to figure out where to go and where to. Is this going to kind of blanket the Middle West, or where are we looking at this rain?
A wide and expansive area from Ohio through the better part of Indiana, generally across much of central and southern Illinois, especially here from Champaign to St. Louis, and then from that St. Louis line down to Oklahoma City, then kind of curl it back to maybe include areas like Memphis and Nashville and Lexington, Kentucky, and back up to Ohio, kind of in that Ohio River Valley I-64 corridor down into maybe the northern counties and western counties of Kentucky, far western, and even middle Tennessee. That's the epicenter of either recurring severe weather this weekend or over the next, couple of 2 or 3 days, probably 10, 12 inches of rain that may come down. It's already wet, it's saturated, flooding's going on there already. So that's the epicenter. Will be on the north and northwestern flank of that, probably 2 to 4 inches here. And we're already wet and saturated coming off the storms a couple of nights ago. And then you get up towards the Kankakee, maybe about an inch worth of rain expected for the weekend. So yeah, a lot of these eastern and southern Corn Belt locales, too wet to get out there. Western complex will have some opportunity, but we're into the thick of it here.
When do you think our friends in the field get in the field?
Well, they'd like to kind of begin to, get a little bit of tillage going and maybe, mid-April, to really begin to pick up the pace on planting operations. Some folks tend to want to go a little earlier sometimes, depending on soil moisture and temperature and all that, but usually by mid-April. So we've got a little window around here beginning next week of drier weather, and I don't think it's going to be long lasting more than maybe 10 days to 2 weeks. So when we want to get back out there, I think that's when the rains return here over the course of the end of the second into the third week of the month of April.
You don't have to replant either, right? I mean, yikes.
They're going to. There's obviously a lot of planting that goes on already in the Delta, lower Mississippi Valley, south of the Ohio, and even parts of the Mid-South are going to be in need for some replanting down there because of the excess rainfall.
All right, we check your weather for our weekend here in central Illinois. Meteorologist Greg Solier with the details. Looks like we'll just have to be on alert and ready to go.
Yeah, and it won't be raining continuously. We'll get these clusters, these bands, these blobs, these batches to come on through the area, and that's when we anticipate the heaviest of the downpours to get going. The greatest likelihood of any severe, and I know we're still getting mopped up and cleaned up from the wind and the hail and et cetera the past few days. It looks like maybe as close in as I-70, maybe south of Tuscola, the better likelihood of some severe weather from time to time, and then it get to the I-64 corridor and southward, mid-south, they'll get beat up pretty good down there with severe storms too. But around here, 40 Fort Willett and Savoy, 49 right now, up looked at about 42, 43 degrees actually up at Wrigley Field. They open up baseball at Wrigley there today. Gusty northeast wind, a little mid to late evening rain will come through the area, and we'll get into some shower activity here by early to mid-afternoon with a high temperature expected up at around 55. Pick up the northeast to east wind, and the flood watch for tonight, tomorrow, the heavier downpours tomorrow night, wind down on Sunday. Keep an eye on area streams and rivers as well, please. 55 today, down to 45 for tonight, 50 tomorrow, 39 tomorrow night. Finally, some afternoon sun on Sunday, and 48. A little rain snow mix Monday morning? Yeah, I think so, with a high temperature at 50. We're in the upper 40s with sunshine Tuesday. We moderate to the 60s late next week with a couple of more rain showers as well. But over the weekend, probably 2 to 4 inches of rain again expected across the area. Keep an eye on low spots, streams, and rivers. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm Delicious, Greg Solga.
All right. Probably no tennis shoes. Be careful of that because you'll get all soaked up. I don't know why I thought of that. All right, so what are 7.2 million able-bodied people doing in America that are men right now? What are 7.2 million able-bodied men, I should say, not doing? 7.2 million able-bodied men are not working in the prime of their working ages. They are collecting unemployment and not even looking for work. Mike Rowe.
And the stat that sticks with me and worries me today is 7.2 million able-bodied men today in their prime working years are not only unemployed, 7.2 million men officially not even looking. Now, that's bad, but what's worse is the answer to the question, well, what are they doing? Are they volunteering with the JCs, the Kiwanis Club, the Lions Club, the Boy Scouts, Skills USA, 4-H? Are they involved with their church? 2,000 hours a year on average on screens.
And, I looked at that. Honestly, 2,000 hours a year on screens is like 5.5 hours a day, which I'm probably doing during the week.
I know.
On the weekend, no way.
Right.
But on the week, I'm doing a lot of work on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going here to there, so that's technically screen time.
Right.
I think they're talking.
But it's kind of work too.
Well, it's like your laptop.
Right.
So how often are you? I think what he probably intimates is the 2,000 hours is part gaming. I think it's more gaming, and I think, frankly, 5.5 hours a day for some people I know is nothing. I think it's more like 12 or 16.
Yeah.
I think there's an addiction that we haven't talked about that some of these particularly 25 to 34-year-old men are very good at gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you have a family, they're sneaking in gaming. So it's just what it is. It's what we got. It's something when we had the handheld stuff back in the 70s. It was amazing.
Yes.
And all the things you could do, and they were fun, and it captivated you.
Sure, but not for hours on end like it is now.
Well, just like, what's the difference between watching 12 hours straight of television and 12 hours straight of nothing?
Right.
You're distracted, and yeah. So anyway, that's a lot of workforce. The unemployment just came out. It's 4.2, 228,000 jobs created. That's more than expected. The markets are not supposed to open very good because of the tariffs and all the things being said. I wonder if the good jobs report will change that at all. One of the aspects of tariffs and everything else could be lower interest rates, which would be welcome for credit card people, mortgage people. And I think many realtors believe that the mortgage interest rates on mortgages will come down by the end of the year. But again, I think we'll have to see how the tariffs play out and see if leaders, which are apparently calling the White House now, and Eric Trump gave an incredible quote earlier this morning when he said, "I encourage all leaders of the world to call my father. I've seen this all my life." This is what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get in. He said the people that call early are going to get a deal. The people that call late will not. So
okay,
we will we'll see how that plays out. All right, 13 after. It's 8:13 on this Friday morning, April 4. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis on this day of 1968.
Yeah, he was 39 years old.
I remember when that happened. My mom cried and wrote a letter to Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife, as millions, I'm sure, did.
Yeah.
But it was a sad day in America this day, 1968. All right, sports headlines.
Chicago White Sox are in Detroit with a 12-10 start. That'll kind of start off our day games with some of our favorite teams. It looks like Jonathan Cannon for the White Sox, Jack Flaherty for the Detroit Motor City Kitties.
Former Cardinal?
Yes. So Shoto Imanaga will be pitching for the Cubs as they host San Diego Padres with a 1:20 start. So that's 12:45 over on US 105.9 for the pregame. Randy Vasquez is pitching for the San Diego Padres, who are off to a 7-0 start. So come on, Cubbies, let's be spoilers for this team, huh?
Yep.
That'd be awesome to be having that blue W flag waving all weekend. All the games are at 1:20. St. Louis is at Boston. Do we want a Redbird recap this? Give us a summary of what's happening in Boston at 1:10 for that first pitch.
Sure.
Okay.
4-2 start after sweeping the Twins and losing 2 of 3 to the Angels, but winning the series finale at Busch Stadium on Wednesday. 4-2 start after sweeping the Twins and losing 2 of 3 to the Angels, but winning the series finale at Busch Stadium on Wednesday afternoon. After an off day yesterday, they are set to play their first road game of the year today. They are in Boston to open up a series against the Red Sox. On the mound this afternoon for the Cardinals, it'll be Eric Fetty, 1-0, 1.50 ERA, as he was pretty good in his first start. This will be his third appearance against the Red Sox and the first since 2021. His numbers aren't great, a 16.20 ERA in just an inning and 2/3 against the Red Sox. Walker Buehler will make the start for the Red Sox. He's 0-1 with an 8.31 ERA as he struggled in his first start. First appearance against the Cardinals since 2021. Overall 2-0 with a 2.88 ERA in 4 appearances against the Cardinals in his career. 1:10 first pitch this afternoon. Our coverage begins at 12:15.
And when it comes to Illinois baseball, since we do expect some rain later, they've bumped the start against Maryland to 1 o'clock at Illinois Field. Illinois softball up in Evanston. That's at 2 o'clock tomorrow as they face Northwestern. Defensive lineman Tara Edwards with the Illini has decided to enter the NFL draft, or declared for the draft. Our defensive lineman Tara Edwards has decided to do the draft, which is April 24th
good luck.
to the 26th.
Good luck, yeah.
And we also had one of the women's basketball team members, Corey Allen, enter the transfer portal. Of course, Illinois women's basketball, 22-10 on the season. When it comes to women's basketball, we've got the Final Four set up in Tampa tonight with number 2 seed UConn taking on UCLA, and number 1 seed at 8:30 tonight. The earlier game will be number 1 seeds Texas and South Carolina at 6. Tomorrow in CBS is when we'll have the men's Final Four. All number 1 seeds, Florida versus Auburn at 5, and at 8 o'clock it's Houston and Duke.
Well, if Auburn plays Duke for the national title, I'll have the 2 teams, but so will
me too.
1,000 other people.
That's right.
Because if you went chalk, so did everybody else.
That's right.
The way you win those things is if you pick a team that doesn't expect to get there, and they do. But it's probably going to, I think it's going to be Duke. I don't know how you pick against Duke.
I know.
But any one of those 4 could win it pretty
That
easily.
Cooper flag's pretty good.
Yep.
Chattanooga over UC Irvine yesterday, 85-84 in overtime. If you also want to take note that St. Louis Blues have been playing so well, and they did beat Pittsburgh 5-4 yesterday in overtime, 42-28-7 on the season, 11 wins in a row. And even John Decker talked about Washington and the Blackhawks going at it. So there's some hockey.
There's
for
a
you.
guy trying to beat Wayne Gretzky's all-time scoring.
I see.
And so that guy apparently I never thought anybody beat Wayne Gretzky.
I know.
Well, if you got a tax refund, Busey Wealth Management thinks that maybe you ought to pay down some bad debt. That could be credit cards, etc. And whatever you're doing a week from Tuesday's tax day, that means you got to get your stuff or get an extension, whatever you're planning to do. But if you do get any extra money, you want maybe add an emergency fund. Busey Wealth Management says pay off some of the debt you can save. Of course, it's always good. You can always spend everything you save. And down payments are really the tough thing for buying homes for most people, particularly young people. Or you could do a little renovation. Sometimes the kitchen and baths can help the value of your home. Let Busey Wealth Management help you. You can go to Busey.com, take advantage of financial educational tools that are on there. Whether saving for retirement or college, Busey Wealth Management provides the support and resources that you might need to help achieve your financial goals. It's good to have a planner. It's good to have people support you saying, what if, what if, what if? Right now, they're getting a lot of phone calls, as is every wealth management person, because people are freaking about the markets. You can call Busey at 1-800-67-BUSEY or go to Busey.com today. Investment products and services are not FDIC insured, may lose value, no bank guarantee. For over 155 years, they started a year after the University of Illinois. It's Busey, member FDIC. Now Greg's weather again for the weekend at 8:19.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather. For Eastern Illinois, Champaign and Benton vicinity, active and moisture laden over the next couple of 2 or 3 days as expected. Mainly cloudy for the day-to-day. Some scattered shower activity breaking out this afternoon. Increasing northeast to east wind, a cool high 55. Could be a thunderstorm in spots here late this afternoon and evening time. Then for tonight, tomorrow, and in through tomorrow night, winding out early Sunday, periods of rain showers and thunderstorms. Heavy rainfall at times leading to a flood watch. Keep an eye on area streams and rivers. Rainfall totals across the immediate area 2 to 4 inches. Higher numbers south and southeast of Champaign County, lesser north and northwest. 45 the low tonight. Highs tomorrow at 50 on a north wind, 15 to 25 and gusty. 39 tomorrow night and a high of 48 with a partly sunny, drier Sunday. Monday, a little snow rain mix in the morning at 50 in the afternoon and a partly cloudy sky. 49, that's it with sunshine Tuesday. Back to the 50s on Wednesday, 60s next Thursday and Friday. A drier weather pattern next week. Couple of showers mid to late next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
I'm Taylor Riggs, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The monthly employment report came in mixed with better than expected job growth. However, the sell-off continues on Wall Street. Fallout from the Trump administration's tariffs. China now says it will retaliate April 10th, imposing a 34% tariff on all imported goods from the U.S. There were 228,000 new jobs created in March. Economists were predicting 135,000. However, the unemployment rate rose to 4.2% from 4.1 in February, and previous job growth was revised lower. January and February jobs created were decreased by a total of 48,000. Economists at J.P. Morgan are now raising chances of a global recession to 60%, and Goldman Sachs economists see the European Central Bank cutting interest rates 3 times this year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
I'm Charles Payne. Listen to my Unstoppable Prosperity podcast so I can get you making money right now. 35 years on Wall Street taught me how to successfully invest in the stock market. In my 4-part series, I'm going to teach you too. Some of Fox Business's finest join me to help tell my story, impart crucial lessons from my Unstoppable Prosperity book, and to give you the tools to achieve your own financial dreams.
Listen anytime, everywhere at foxbusinesspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Got a plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, or sewer problem? Look no further than Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric. Locally owned and trusted, Fred's team of professionals is ready to tackle projects both big and small. Why waste time and money on complicated DIY fixes? Fred's experienced team will get the job done right, saving you time, stress, and cash. And when it comes to sewer problems, make sure you call Fred's for a second opinion you can trust. At Fred's, they do it all. No project too big, no project too small. They do insulation, repairs, replacement, and maintenance. And they now offer service agreements. For reliable service, professional expertise, and solutions that work, call Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric today. 217-586-3863. Or go to fredscu.com. You can always trust Fred's.
I can't believe it. Ellen Hook, Ashley Home Stores, jumped on the phone. Where you been?
I've been all over the place.
What
running around
heck?
these stores.
What? Still 3 kids or 6 kids? How many kids?
I have three kids, and it feels like 20.
I agree. They've outnumbered you guys now.
It's Evan, the star volleyball coach, right?
That's right.
And what are the
tag team?
How old are the kids now?
Well, Evie's 2 now, so I can't call her my little baby anymore.
Oh, so sweet now, Evie.
Born 3 months ago. What do you mean 2? Really?
I know.
What?
I can't believe it.
I can't either.
She's going to be able to run around and get her own Easter eggs this year. So.
Wow.
Yes.
What about the boys? How old?
They're 7 and soon to be 9 this month.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay, well, I'm sure glad I put in for that NIL rep for your family. I'm very excited. We're going to make a fortune when those boys are ready to go to school, big-time money in high school and college. Yes, ma'am. All right, so you guys are having a deal this weekend at Ashley Home Store, and I'm not paying tax?
No sales tax.
Wow.
We're going to pay your sales tax for you, which gives you extra discount on the furniture. And our Champaign store just got remodeled and redone, so we have a lot of new styles. Patio just hits the front tile area, which we call the front entryway, so lots of new styles, especially for spring. And, we're trying to get people in before all these and crazy things happening out there before prices go up. So come in and we'll pay your sales tax.
I think it's annoying. Sales tax like 9-10% these days, isn't it? Something crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck?
Pretty crazy. So that'll be a hefty discount.
Well,
so
buy $5,000 something, I say $500
Why
on
not?
tax. What the heck's wrong with
That's
that?
right.
And as far as the mattresses, too, if you're not sleeping well, Ellen, let's talk about some of the brands that you're carrying.
Okay, I got to tell you guys real quick about this new model that we have in from Tempur-Pedic. It's called the Active Breeze, and it has a heating and cooling element in it, so you can control the temperature. So if you sleep, if it's like freezing out and you want to warm up your bed, it's like your car. You hit the remote, it warms up before you get out there. You can warm your bed up before you get in it or cool it off.
What's wrong with that?
And you can control the temperature. So even if you're not in the market, just come in and test it out. It's like the new technology in mattresses, which we have in the showrooms today. But Tempur-Pedic, we have Beauty Rest, Purple, Nectar, all the name brands. So if you're looking for...
if I come in and lay down and fall asleep, will you might have to wake me up? Or
You know what? I hope you do that, because that would be really fun.
Exactly.
I might join you for a nap.
I'll tell
depending
you,
on the time of day.
you're running around with 3 little kids, man. That's and running stores. What the heck?
Ellen, one of the
naps are a thing.
one of the things I noticed was these end tables now, where you can put your technology and boom, they get charged up, or you can use it as a discrete speaker. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We live with our devices, and so furniture evolves with lifestyles, just like any technology does. So there's more and more technology. I keep having to add more power outlets to the store because every new piece we have come in has some type of tech feature. So like USB chargers and phone chargers and you name it. It's there. Little lights on the bottom, little nightstands, and even the beds now sometimes have like an automatic sensor where when you walk by underneath your mattress, you're walking in the middle of the night, it lights up, and that way you don't trip over yourself, but it's not on all night. It just goes on by sensor. So crazy stuff happening.
Last time we talked, you were hiding from your kids. It's been that long, for Pete's sake.
She was taking a call in the shower or something with the shower not on, with the curtain shut, just so she could avoid being interrupted by the kids. But today you are at Ashley Home Store.
You're there today.
I'm here at the store now before we open. It's nice and quiet. And I like to walk the floor and make sure everything's ready to go for our guests.
That's awesome. How tall is the 9-year-old?
Oh, goodness.
He's going to be tall.
I don't even know.
The kids are going to be taller than both of you guys, I'm sure.
I think so. That's going to be weird, like having 2 big boys walking around the house taller than me, because I'm 6 foot, but we'll see.
They're going to be playing Karch Karai stuff on the beach, man, making big sponsor money with your NIL guy. Come on, man, let's go.
That's going to be fun stuff. I hope.
Hey,
we'll
listen.
see. We got to get men's volleyball going around here.
No kidding. They'd be slamming it.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, so tell people the hours this weekend to Ashley Home Store.
Yeah, we're open 10 to 6 on Saturday, and then we're open at 11 on Sunday, and we close at 6 on Sunday. So we're going to do the pay your sales tax event all weekend long, and we have some items in stock, too. So if you need something now, get it before all these prices start going up with these crazy tariffs.
Come see the remodel. It's great catching up with you, Ellen. Way to go.
You too. Nice talking to you guys. Have a great day.
You as well. Too. Ellen Hook, Ashley Home Store.
602 West Anthony Drive, or just an online search if you want to get ahead of it and try to explore some options. It's on all your social media platforms and online at Ashley.
Going to meet Dr. Al Bernabe. He is a medical doctor and board-certified cardiothoracic surgeon. Yeah, I was going to do that, but I got busy.
Opted to talk on the mic
exactly.
instead.
I could have done that, but I just got busy. Yeah. That's learned stuff. Looking forward to that next from OSF. Stand by, 828.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change a car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at erieinsurance.com. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
When looking for a bank, you deserve the best. Philo Exchange Bank is a Best of Bauer bank rated 5 stars in financial strength and stability for over 28 consecutive years. Banking with us means you're banking with one of the strongest banks in the nation. Visit any one of our locations in Philo, St. Joseph, Allerton, or Broadlands to experience the best firsthand.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Winter's finally over. Time to thaw out and enjoy the sunshine. But is your yard ready? 2 Minute Junk Truck can help you ditch the clutter and create the perfect outdoor oasis. From old patio furniture to forgotten fire pits, 2 Minute Junk Truck will haul it all away. Get ready for cookouts, parties, or just chilling with a good book. Make space for what matters most. Visit 2MinuteJunkTruck.com today. Use code RADIO25 to save $25 on your next service.
What is most important to you in your life? This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients like you realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
We're back. We have Paul Regan.
Chris Foster, China announces new tariffs on American imports, retaliation for President Trump increasing tariffs on their products in the U.S.
China's Tariff Commission says its 34% response will take effect April 10th, a day after the U.S. tariffs. Also, China's Commerce Ministry says it added more than 24 American companies to export control and corporate blacklists.
Fox's Jenny Casola. The threat of more severe weather today stretches for hundreds of miles, covering nearly 50 million people through parts of the South and Midwest.
We have a concern for long track, powerful tornadoes, as well as additional heavy rain that will lead to more flooding. Yesterday, we had homes in Tennessee take on water, and yet again today, we have a particularly dangerous flood watch for parts of Arkansas, also southern Illinois and West Kentucky.
Fox Weather's Berta Merwin. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Governor Pritzker slamming President Trump after he announced his global tariffs. Governor calls tariffs a tax on working families who are grappling with the high cost of food, housing, and utilities. University of Illinois system launching a pilot program aimed at increasing transfer rates from community colleges to four-year universities, and with partnership with Chicago-based nonprofit 1 Million Degrees, the program for low-income community college students. It starts the initiative by serving 240 students from select Illinois community colleges. Village of Tolono waiting to see the final election results, and one community member could be making history. Village trustee Terrence Stuber could become the first African-American village president in Tolono. He said it'd be an honor to go down in history, but that isn't his goal. Stuber wants to be remembered for creating a welcoming community, building economic success, as well as more. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
We're back. We have Paul Rican from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World on the air. Paul, what makes buying an appliance at Dick Van Dyke so special?
Well, Chris, it all starts with our service department. We have an in-house service team that's second to none. And Chris, is that a dog in the back?
Max, keep it down. Have a snack, buddy. Go ahead, Paul.
With our in-house service team, we have our free 10-year protection plan included on most appliance purchases.
Paul, sorry. Let me close the window here.
Should we start over? Or?
Nope, we are on the air.
All right, so with our free protection plan, we also give you a lifetime discount on the service call even after the 10 years runs out.
Hey, cut it out for a second. Sorry, Paul, I have a basement remodel going on. Did you say a service call discount for the life of the appliance? Uninterrupted discounted service?
Uninterrupted discounted service.
For the life of the appliance. Uninterrupted, huh? I like that.
No interruptions. The kind of service that makes Dad say,
wow.
Big Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and vicinity heads up on the flood watch in area streams and rivers as well. Already a flood warning stature, especially around the Wabash and areas to the south and east. And it will become more of a phenomenon here with 2 to 4 inches of rain expected over the next several days. Ponding and flooding is expected. Scattered showers break out this afternoon. Late day thunderstorm chance 55 on an increasing northeast to east wind. Then for tonight, tomorrow night winding down early on Sunday. Periods of rain showers and thunderstorms. Heavy downpours at times, down to 45 for tonight, 50 the high tomorrow on a gusty north wind, 39 tomorrow night, and a high of 48 with a partly sunny Sunday afternoon. Monday, maybe a snow rain shower mix in the morning, the high near 50 with a partly cloudy afternoon, into the upper 40s Tuesday, frost and freeze there in the morning. Then milder weather sets up with upper 50s next Wednesday, 60s next Thursday and Friday, drier but not completely dry, a couple of scattered showers over the second half of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Happy to welcome to our studio. We are visiting with Dr. Al Bernabe, MD, cardiothoracic surgeon at OSF Healthcare. OSF is awesome. Dr. Al, thanks for driving down to the center of the universe. It's on the water tower. That's where we're at, Philo, Illinois.
My pleasure, Steve.
Nice to meet you and have you in our studio. Okay, so this kind of started with your parents. You were inspired as a kid because they weren't very healthy, and that kind of got you thinking of a doctor?
Well, my parents liked to take me to their doctor's appointments, and they both had, long illnesses that required, medical care. And, I got to learn up close firsthand what it was like to go through that process. And I thought, I could do that. And it seems like so worthwhile. I mean, we were blessed that they had such wonderful doctors.
But you didn't realize you're going to be in school till like 30, did you?
35.
Oh, my God. Well,
learn a lot.
You're doing hearts
but who's counting?
I mean, you're doing heart surgery, esophagus stuff, lungs. You're doing aortic stuff. I mean, this complicated stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the more complicated to me, the more exciting it was, the better. The more complicated the problem, the more impactful is typically the intervention.
And helping people at OSF Healthcare. And I see you're speaking from experience when you're talking on Wednesday, April 9th at 10 a.m. at the Stevick Senior Center, located at 2102 West Windsor Place in Champaign. Heart wellness while aging. We were just talking about this topic.
Well, so I'm not a natural speaker. And my wife said, keep it short, talk as little as possible and make it just question and answer. And I said, okay, honey, whatever you say.
It's from 10 to 11, and there's no charge in case one of our listeners would like to go to this free event.
What does it mean, heart health?
Well, there's no specific definition of that. My father was an engineer. My 2 sons are engineers. And I think like an engineer, and engineers like to measure and quantify. And so from my perspective, I want to quantify heart wellness. And I'll speak about that and how to, maintain that.
What are some basics that people probably have heard before but don't do to keep your heart and lungs healthy?
Well, exercise. I mean, everybody kind of knows that. And then diet and It's not so much so novel. I don't have a magic pill or any magic
There's no
advice.
pill that burns fat while I sleep, because I've seen that on TV.
I don't think so.
So what is it? It's just, I've come to the conclusion of my age. The more you sit, the more you sit in life, right? I mean, if you get retired and you sit, you're going to sit more.
Yeah. So you kind of hit it, nail on the head. I think of heart wellness as a person's ability to burn oxygen at its maximal amount. We call that a VO2 max. And so that really measures a combination of heart function, lung function, oxygen delivery in your body. And it peaks for most people in their late 20s, kind of coincides with, peak performance of an athlete. And it slowly goes down. And I'd like to talk about how to prevent the decline.
Yeah, but the earlier you start on that preventing thing, the better.
Absolutely. But I get this question all the time. Doc, I just thought I was getting older, and that's why I couldn't climb a flight of stairs, or I couldn't walk a mile when last year I could walk 2. And it's not due to age, because it doesn't decline that quickly.
Is it ever too late?
Usually not. I'm an optimist. But you can never say never.
But you got to start something. I mean, obviously you'd say, well, why don't you walk from here to that house over there and then come home, right? I mean,
yes.
Start.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do we prevent the decline?
Well, maintain an exercise program. Maintain a diet that is reasonable, well balanced, and that goes a long way.
Some people think they need to drive to St. Louis or Chicago for cardiologists and pulmonologists, but OSF Healthcare, people like you, Dr. Al, ready for people.
Well, that's what attracted me here. Most of my career, I've worked in tertiary settings, and I tell people, what's the difference between a good cardiothoracic surgeon and maybe one that's not so great? And it's really only 2 to 4%, meaning, the results and outcomes are very similar between all heart surgeons, because we're so well trained. But the best tend to have, a little bit, there's a small curve, put it that way. Their outcomes are maybe a few percentages higher. And so coming to OSF, I wanted to bring that kind of university care to a community setting.
Yes, you've been in the big cities. I mean, Detroit, Chicago, somewhere in Pennsylvania. You've gone to the big markets.
Yes.
You like this size of town?
I do. It's later in my career, and I'd like to slow down a little bit, but not much. And it's an opportunity to kind of take the whole organization or the whole team involved and kind of like build it in a way that I would like to see.
Well, and to me, getting care in our own community means your family is here for emotional support, recuperation, and OSF Healthcare right here makes a big difference to someone facing these big health issues.
Oh, I've heard that already, where patients will say, well, if I can't get it done here, then I'm not going to go. I just won't get it done, and I feel that that's sad.
Well, I mean, when you are in surgery, which I'm sure is, in your career has been a lot, have you ever, even today, opened somebody up and say, never seen that? Or have you seen it all?
No, I don't think anybody's ever seen it all. I always see.
So you're surprised on occasion?
Oh, I think more than on occasion. I'll notice something different that I didn't expect, or that I might not have seen in the same kind of configuration or the same severity. It happens frequently.
So what's the longest surgery you've ever performed?
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
these can be long, right? Heart surgeries can be long.
Oh, yeah. Once I had to replace 2 valves, an aneurysm, and do 3 or 4 bypasses on somebody.
At the same time?
All at the same time.
And so how do you prepare for that? Sleep?
No, I think all heart surgeons to a certain extent are adrenaline junkies, and we get up for that.
But don't you need a long day off or something after something like you have to rest?
Well, once I did 5 heart transplants in 5 days, and I was the one who was getting the hearts and then transplanting the hearts and then taking care of the people. And I was sleeping in between operations on a helicopter or a jet or an ambulance.
That is somewhere in your life, Al, you've had to crash and say, I need a day off, man. I mean, I need to stop for a second.
Yeah, I'm human.
Yeah, I would think so. But you have a great passion for what you do. You can tell just by the way you're explaining this. It's awesome.
No, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
So you'll keep doing this for another 50 years then, huh?
Well, as long as they let me.
Okay.
Very good.
That's awesome. It's Dr. Al Bernabe. He's with OSF Healthcare. If you want to reach Al, how would we do that? How would we reach you? How do we get an appointment, get us started with OSF and you and your team?
Well, you just call the hospital and ask the operator to get me or not me, but my staff.
Get an appointment going and all that
at the office. Yes.
And you do an evaluation, history, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
All doctors do that.
And of course, osfhealthcare.org.
Nice to meet you.
Oh.
Do you like pasta? Italian?
Yeah, kind of.
I was going to say, So what's the best spaghetti? What do you do with that?
What's the best spaghetti?
I mean, what's the best ingredient in the best Italian spaghetti?
I think it starts with the sauce.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think about pulling it out of a jar, right?
No, you can.
He's done that before.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's congratulations on your success, your pursuit of excellence, and all you're doing for OSF, and welcome. And I know you're a Detroit Lion fan. I think I really like watching the Lions play football. I think they're great.
I do too.
They're really
They're
good.
exciting.
Yeah. Listen, thanks for dropping in. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you,
Come back
Steve. Thank you,
sometime.
Diane.
Come back.
Absolutely. OSF Healthcare focusing on personalized, compassionate, comprehensive patient care locally. osfhealthcare.org.
Hey, where are you headed?
To Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola.
What do they have there?
What don't they have there? Living room furniture, benches, chests, love seats, sectionals, tables, bedroom sets, hutches, nightstands, end tables, cabinets, mirrors, stools, clocks, lamps, pillows, rugs, desks, media consoles, patio furniture, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more.
So, everything.
Yeah, probably could have just said that.
Kelsey Furniture, quality for less.
Sarah Champagne's Ben Quattrone on keeping his employees.
It's got to be the place to work. We have to pay the best. We have to treat people the best. Some of the guys wanted to order pizza the other day. Well, we bought 30 Papa Del's pizzas. BMW had the best month they've ever had. They said, can we have a cookout? Saturday, I cooked like 50 ribeye steaks. And they were expecting like cheeseburgers, burgers and hot dogs and stuff. Like, if I'm eating steak, you're eating steak. We both eat steak, we both eat hamburger.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. We're talking to John Reichert and Neil Asklin. I guess the first question for me, John, is what is it like being part of A&R, knowing how this all started? It was your grandfather, then your dad, and now you, and 100 years in business is hard. How do you explain that?
Well, it's incredible, honestly. When I was a boy, obviously my father was running the company. It's always been, part of my life, but I knew that we had good people, at that time that worked for the company. I think with God's help and protection that we survived and frankly thrived.
I think the thrive is the key word here. Neil Asklin, I guess let me ask you about your dad, Ken Asklin, who partnered with Dave and they got it going in the 50s and kept it going. And you being part of the company.
I've been around since I was a young teenager, so something that I've grown to love, and the camaraderie and getting things done. And these huge projects that we're doing now just amazes me.
A&R Mechanical, a thriving leader 100 years later.
Jet's Pizza is offering a special deal when you spend $25. Just use promo code 5ADD. That's the number 5ADD and specify Jet's bread or cinnamon sticks for only $5. Combine that with their current $5 off pizza promos and you can cheer on the Illini while enjoying hot pizza with your favorite Jet's bread or cinnamon sticks. What a deal. You spend $25, enter 5ADD for Jet's bread or cinnamon sticks for just $5. Jets, better because it has to be.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
It's time to plan your summer swimming season. Urbana Park District is selling pool memberships to Crystal Lake Park Family Aquatic Center. Memberships are on sale through April. The pool opens Memorial Day weekend. Single, family, senior, and veteran rates available. Purchase memberships in person at Phillips Recreation Center, 505 West Stoughton, or at Urbana Indoor Aquatic Center. Call 217-367-1544 for details. Urbana Park District, you belong here.
Attention drivers. When it comes to your car, trust matters. That's why savvy drivers choose PDR Automotive for top-notch service and unbeatable quality. From routine maintenance to complex repairs, their team of expert technicians has the skill and experience to keep your vehicle running smoothly. At PDR Automotive, customer satisfaction is their priority, and they won't rest until your car is back on the road performing at its best. Visit PDR Automotive in Urbana today, family-owned and operated for more than 50 years. They're what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather. Free Central Illinois, Champaign and vicinity, active and moisture laden over the next couple of 2 or 3 days as expected. Mainly cloudy for the day-to-day. Some scattered shower activity breaking out this afternoon. Increasing northeast to east wind, a cool high 55. Could be a thunderstorm in spots here late this afternoon and evening time. Then for tonight, tomorrow, and in through tomorrow night, winding out early Sunday, periods of rain, showers, and thunderstorms. Heavy rainfall at times, leading to a flood watch. Keep an eye on area streams and rivers. Rainfall totals across the immediate area, 2 to 4 inches. Higher numbers south and southeast of Champaign County, lesser north and northwest. 45 the low tonight. Highs tomorrow at 50 on a north wind, 15 to 25 and gusty. 39 tomorrow night and a high of 48 with a partly sunny, drier Sunday. Monday, a little snow rain mix of the morning at 50 in the afternoon and a partly cloudy sky. 49, that's it with sunshine Tuesday. Back to the 50s on Wednesday, 60s next Thursday and Friday. A drier weather pattern next week. Couple of showers mid to late next week as well. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
My name is Jim Brookins. I own my lawn care service for over 15 years now. I've met a lot of great people doing this. Most of the people I meet, they become great friends. I do edging, weed eating. I blow everything off so it looks fantastic when I'm done. I believe, in my mind, I do the best. Usually my average range is usually around $40 per yard. You can call me 217-621-8807. 217-621-8807.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is right here in Champaign-Urbana to help you select the right protection at the right price. Kurt will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Why use Land's Underground Solutions? We have the team, the technology, the tools, and the most experienced team in the industry.
Hi, it's Wes from Land's Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our mission at Land's is to provide top-tier service, prioritize our customers with upfront pricing, and maintain exceptional communication. We assure you at Land's we will only recommend what you truly need, from regular maintenance on your home's mechanical systems with the Land's Comfort family to replacement of existing equipment. Now would be a great time to consider updating your HVAC system. Visit us at landsinc.com.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
You've heard about the doggy bag, right? From Bulldog Disposal Muhammad, a 6 cubic yard canvas bag that can be used for easy cleanup instead of a big dumpster. The one-time use bag is now available and you can save the delivery charge. Get the doggy bag at Do It Best Hardware in Champaign at 107 West Springfield. So fill up the bag, call Bulldog Disposal, have it disposed of, and you'll be organized. Go to bulldoggybag.com for all the details. That's bulldoggybag.com. Yeah, Rebecca won that yesterday on our Stever offer.
Nice.
Paid for the whole thing there.
Excellent.
Okay, we are done for the week. Ball game at noon, 12:15. That's pregame. Is it on the air? No, the first pitch is 12:15. Is that right?
At 1:10 is what I have.
For the Cardinals?
Right.
2:10. That doesn't look good for the boys.
Okay.
I mean, right? Usually it's...
Right.
I
mean,
depends.
last year, but with the pitch clock and all that, it was 2 hours and 22 minutes was the average game time.
That's the average?
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. I thought that was more like 2:30, 2:40, but that's pretty good.
I know it.
It goes fast. You look down, an hour later, it's the fifth inning. We've had a few Reds games recently. That's just a lot of pitching, not a lot of hitting.
Someone texted in 359-2255 about the St. Louis Blues, of course, beating the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-4 in overtime yesterday, making it 11 consecutive wins.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you, Diane.
Enjoy the weekend.
That's Diane Ducey. I am Stevie J. Thank you for listening. We'll meet on Monday. Have a blessed weekend. We'll talk to you then.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
Attention all truck drivers looking for a new opportunity with great pay and amazing benefits. Gale Frericks Trucking has got you covered. Join their team, receive a $4,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $4,000 just for coming on board. Plus, enjoy a $1,200 gross weekly pay guarantee. Drive their state-of-the-art Freightliner Cascadia trucks equipped with a revolutionary system designed to reduce weight and downtime. Get home every weekend and some nights during the week with paid vacations and holidays. They offer company-sponsored health insurance and all the benefits you deserve. Regional drivers get first priority. Don't wait. Apply in person at Dedicated Diesel, 1313 Triumph Drive, Urbana, or call Tim at 765-505-1295. That's 765-505-1295. Start your journey today with Gale Frericks Trucking.
Everyone deserves a second chance, right? Well, so does that awesome chair someone tossed. 2 Men and a Junk Truck believes in second chances. That's why the Second Chance Garage Sale is happening April 12th, rescuing fantastic items from the landfill and giving them a lease on new life, maybe with you. From 8 a.m. to noon at the 2 Men and a Junk Truck office at 701 West Bradley Avenue in Champaign, Saturday, April 12th. Find details, do good. Visit 2menandajuncktruck.com.
Join Cunningham Children's Home on April 4th and 5th for the 21st Annual Festival of Quilts. It's a celebration you don't want to miss. Enjoy a stunning quilt show and sale, shop for home decor and gifts, enjoy home-baked treats from the bake sale, take a campus tour, and more. This tradition is more than just a festival, it's a chance to raise critical funds for the youth and families Cunningham serves each year. Don't miss the Festival of Quilts, April 4th and 5th. Visit Cunningham.org to learn more.
Norm Miller here, chairman of Interstate Batteries. You know, without batteries, life would be pretty lifeless. That's why Interstate All Battery Centers carry them in every size, shape, and style so you can drive, drill, call, film, or do whatever it is you want to do. Stop in today. They've got the power to keep you going. Interstate All Battery Center. Outrageously dependable.
Interstate All Battery Center. You'll find them outrageously dependable just over Interstate 74 at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign, with batteries for most every application in stock.
I'm Justin Ike, co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground.
So, Justin, tell me what you see as typical when it comes to sewer repair. Give me a scenario.
Your sewer's backed up and somebody comes along and says, you need this repair for X amount of dollars. Here's my price. And you don't think to go looking for another company or a second opinion because you don't feel like you have time.
So is it possible that you might get charged a little more because it's kind of a desperate moment? Do some companies do that?
Oh, absolutely they will. They know you're in a pinch. Typically, if you call us, me or Will can be out there within an hour to look at that problem for you. Whether you call me first or you call me second, make sure you give me a call.
Anything else, Justin?
You can always trust Fred's.
Great to know. Thank you. That's Justin Ike, the co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground. If you want more information about this great 45-year family-owned company, just go to fredscu.com. That's fredscu.com. Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone on why integrity is important at Sarah.
We hire the person. The person makes the deal. The person makes the department. The person makes everyone around them treat people with courtesy and respect. If you have a quality human being, you can play any position, right? We're talking about sports. They can perform in any department, and I could teach someone a job, but I can't teach them to be a good person.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com. Your lawn is an important investment. Let Spring Green take care of that lawn. Your local, family-owned and operated Spring Green has been committed to beautifying your neighborhood through quality, service, and professionalism. Spring Green's full program customers are backed by their guarantee of satisfaction.